It looks so cool. I want to go back. I have this I guess a lot of people probably do, but I have this like obsession with kind of like retro things that I did when I was a kid and going back and interacting with them and like experiencing it with the benefit now of new things that I've seen. I've been doing it recently with reading books that I loved as a kid. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but like I just went back and read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is
Oh, wow.
amazing. If you go and Elon Musk
It's,
says it's the most
yeah.
impactful book he's ever read. So I was like, I'm going to read it again because I loved it. It's incredible. But like I've gone back now and I'm on a kick. I'm like reading A Wrinkle in Time. I'm reading I read A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I want to go back and read Lord of the Rings again and The Hobbit again. But there's something about the like nostalgia retro aspect of going back and engaging with these things from our childhood that's so fun.
Yeah, I really, really agree. This is random, but I've taken about a like 10-year break from reading fiction, and I just recently got back into it. Um,
Why did you take the
basically,
break?
uh, well, two reasons. One is I was a little bit burned out of reading fiction from
Hmm.
taking so many English literature classes in college and having to read thousands of pages like per
Mm.
month. Um, it was so much, and I remember like pulling multiple all-nighters to try and
Mm.
like finish a book, that it just sapped a lot of the joy out of reading for me. And so I was kind of like feeling quite exhausted, honestly, from reading so much fiction, because basically for my entire life up to that point, up to college, and including college, I only read fiction. I never touched nonfiction. I just thought fiction was so much better. I thought it was amazing that
Mm.
you could basically experience the world as someone else, like really get into their brains, which no other media type allows you to do. But then after graduation, I was like, okay, now I'm a working person, I'm an adult. I should actually use my free time in a way that is productive and like teaches me something that I can apply to my work. So I started reading exclusively nonfiction, and I've been doing that for a long time. Uh, and and then I recently picked up Jane Eyre again by Charlotte Bronte, which is one of
Hmm.
my favorite novels that I read when I was a teenager. And the prose just it like it was like opening a window after you've closed the room to a
Mm.
very musty room and the air is very stale, and you open the window and it's like, it's just after the rain and it smells amazing.
Mm.
That's what reading the first page of Jane Eyre was like. Like, I
That's a
forgot
beautiful.
writing could be like this.
It's a beautiful it's a beautiful way of thinking about it. It's a beautiful imagery. So I can see that you've read a lot of fiction in your life because the way you said that was like a very novel-esque way of describing that. I So it's interesting the way that you characterize your arc of like you read so much fiction because that was what you were studying and you got sick of it and you needed to go towards like business and like productive type reading, quote unquote. I feel like that's the opposite of most people. Like my experience was literally the inverse, where I read so much, economics and like nonfiction, business biographies, all of that, and I was the like hustle culture guy of like listen on 2x speed so that I
Oh
could get
gosh.
through 100 books a year and like flex on how many books I read to people, and like that was me. And then maybe 2 years ago, like right around when COVID started, I started just reading fiction for pleasure and like a lot of sci-fi, and I feel like it's made me much more intelligent because now all of a sudden, like I engage with tons of business content from like newsletters I read, your stuff, other people's things. Like that's what I read all day. So then at night, when I read things that are like novels or sci-fi or whatever it is, I feel like the sort of amalgamation or like the maelstrom of all these types of information actually allows your brain to expand in new and unique ways.